welcome to the Experience Better video podcast series. I'm Josh Beekler.
I'm Adam Leese.
We're both PTs here at Kearney Physical Therapy, and we're gonna continue our maybe inappropriate speculation is the word on
Sure.
potential Nebraska quarterback injuries, and Adrian Martinez had that knee injury a few weeks ago. Certainly looked like a medial knee injury, kind of like an MCL type thing.
Yep.
We have no inside knowledge. We don't know exactly what happened to Adrian. However, our expertise and our educated eyes and brains would lead us to believe that that's probably the case. But
more than likely.
But again, so what we thought we'd do today is kind of take you through a progression of exercises, which would you would go through rehabilitating this type of injury. And we just happen to have somebody who's about the size of Adrian Martinez, to be honest. So this will be perfect. So Tyson here's he's a college athlete himself, a professional CrossFitter, can we say? So anyway, so Adam here's going to take him through some exercises, and we're going to have our first moving podcast today. So I'm going to be behind the camera, so you can blame me for.
If you get motion sick.
Right, so let's give this a go. So Adam, take it away.
All right, so as Josh was saying, we're going to assume that Adrian Martinez had some sort of medial knee injury, just like an MCL type thing, and so that's what we're going to treat today. So the first thing here is we're going to have Tyson. We're assuming that we already went through the eval, we know what's going on, so it's just going to be kind of like the day one or the first couple days of therapy exercise. So I'll have you go ahead and lay down for me, Tyson. And so we'll assume, I think it was Adrian's left knee, so we'll treat it as the left knee. And so the first thing would just be heel slides. So what we're trying to do here is get that range of motion. So I just want you to pull that knee back as far towards your rear end as you can, and then straighten it all the way out straight. And so this simple exercise, just trying to mainly work on getting that full motion back. You use pain as the guide is what you would do here. And so you would go to the point where it's starting to get tight, starting to get sore, and then the more you do it, the more it loosens up, the better it feels. And so then another simple day one type exercise would just be quad sets. So you're just trying to fire the quad here. So getting that thigh muscle to pop, trying to prevent as much atrophy or shrinkage of the muscle as you possibly can. Anytime after an injury, there's likely swelling, which inhibits the neuroconnectivity from the brain to the muscle, and so it just impedes the firing rate, or they're not able to turn that quad on quite as well as they used to be. Next one, I'll have you bend your right knee here, and I want you to just lift that leg straight up in the air. So these would be straight leg raises again, just trying to work on that quad muscle, getting that muscle firing. Good. Now go ahead and bend your knee, and then bridges. So trying to lift your hips up off of the table. Good. And then back down, just nice and slow like that. And there's a whole progression of bridge exercises that you can do. You can have him cross do a single leg bridge where he's crossing his right leg over his left leg, bridging up. You could bring in a theraball where he's got his feet up on a theraball, bridging up, and it just makes it a little bit more unsteady, kicking on more hamstrings and glutes. And so there's a lot of different things that you can do with that. Now the next thing is I'll have you roll on your side. And so these are just hip abductor strengthening exercises. So I want your leg completely straight, in line with your spine, and you're going to lift that leg up. Good. And so you should feel this burning right in between like your front pocket and your back pocket. Just right over that outside hip bone. Good. Right like that. So these would be some simple day one exercises that hopefully wouldn't cause a whole lot of pain. And then now we're going to jump forward, so I'll have you go ahead and step off. So this would be hopefully like a week or two out, that he's feeling quite a bit better. And so we come over here to the shuttle machine and just start some like leg press exercise. And then we would add in a couple of different exercises as well that we'll add in after this. And so we'll just start with like a double leg press here. And so I'll have you slide your rear end down, add a little bit of weight because you're the Hulk here. Good. Now, and then you're just straightening your knee like you're standing up out of a chair. And so assuming that this doesn't bother him, you can do a couple of reps here. And so again, just targeting the thigh muscles, trying to get them to kick on. Good. And now I want you to go ahead and drop your right leg. And so we're going to do just single leg. And so then you're pushing up. Good. Right like that. And so this would just be a little bit of an advancement. Really not a whole lot of valgus or like medial to lateral stresses on the knee here. It's more just frontal plane. So it probably wouldn't bother if it truly is like a medial knee injury. But then the next progression would be, and this wouldn't be necessarily today, but later on down the road, would be jumping. And so I just want you to jump like you're just nice and easy jumping rope. Good. And so again, more force coming through the knee, and so we would do that, progress weight, work on more either endurance or more speed, and so he's trying to go faster, faster, faster. You can do that single leg as well. And so I'll have you do just a couple sets. Yep. And so here we're looking for mechanics. We're making sure that his knee's going over the toes, not diving in, that there's nothing funky going on at the ankle or any substitution patterns like that. All right, I'll have you go ahead and stand up. And we'll head over here towards the railing. And so another thing that we would work on is just squats or mini squats. And so we'd have you start here just on the solid surface, and you're just squatting down. And again, we're looking for compensation patterns. Knees should roughly go over the toes. It shouldn't be something where he's having his knees come super far in front, where he's getting more ankle motion, just putting a lot of pressure. And then we'd work on getting lower and lower to that parallel portion. Once he's a pro at that, we'd have him come up and go ahead and step on here. You can use the handrail if you need to stand up because it's a little bit unsteady. Good. And then have him do squats here where it's more of an unstable surface. And then again, work on the getting lower. You can do single leg squats. There's a lot of different things. You could do like a TRX suspension trainer like this, where it's just a little bit less handheld support. So you can go ahead and step off. There you go. Good. And then going forward, we work on more into single leg. So single leg squats, making sure that his hips are staying forward, that his knee isn't collapsing down and in, or that there's any other substitution pattern. So this looks good. I know you can't really tell from the camera angle, but then we would also work on balance. So progression, just open, no problems. Go ahead, close your eyes, and this is all static balance. And so as you can see, it's a little bit more challenging with your eyes closed. That's how it is for everyone. And then we would start working on dynamic balance on the ground. And so that would be things such as like reaching as far forward as you can, in and out to the sides, reaching with your foot, those types of things. But for our video purposes, we're going to progress to an unstable surface such as like an Airex foam pad right here. Stand there on your left foot. A little bit wobbly. So you'd start there, make sure that there's no problems, and then we would progress to like a weighted ball, throwing it at the trampoline. And so you're just tossing it there, bouncing back. So this makes you focus on two things at once. You got to focus on throwing the ball, catching the ball, and so that way your mind can't focus 100% on the balance. And then there's a lot of different movements, reaching the ball out, reaching the ball down, like it's a straight leg deadlift, and it's fairly challenging. And so especially something when you have an injury, you throw all that in, it can be a challenging, different, like proprioception is what it's called. And so it's just trying to regain that body sense of awareness of where it's at in space prior to the injury, so it gets you back to normal. Another thing that we would probably do is a slide board. And so I'll have you go ahead and put these booties on. And so what a slide board is, it's a very, very slick surface. And so that's why he's putting these over his shoes. And what he works on is just trying to propel himself sideways. And so this is where we get a little bit more of that lateral force or that valgus force where he's got to push off. So I'll have you just go ahead, yep, so right like that. So you're just pushing back and forth. And again, we would make sure that there's no pain with that, especially as he goes to push off that left leg. And then he's got to kind of hold a single leg stance while he's sliding. It's not all single leg, the other foot's in contact, but the majority of it's on the lead leg. And then you progress this by making it wider. And so these come off there 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way out at the end. And so that's how you make them have to have more force. And so you can go ahead and step off, take those off. The last things that you would do, in addition to continuing strength, is work on plyometrics and then return to sport type progression. And so to simulate that, we just have a box jump here. And so what I want you to do, Tyson, is you're just going to go ahead, I'll slide this out a little bit. And so I just want you to go ahead and jump up on the box. Good, solid mechanics, just like you normally would. Good. And so that's easy. And so we'd have him do, start out with 3 to 5 reps, progress up to 10 to 15, make sure that as he fatigues, his mechanics don't break down. That would set him up for further risk of injury. Another thing that we would do is work on lateral jumping. And so I'll have you just turn and face me. And you're going to jump up to your left. Good, which if this was his left injury, probably wouldn't be quite as difficult or as challenging as his right side. So I'll have you do one more of those. And then again, you're just evaluating jumping mechanics, making sure that there's nothing goofy going on. And I'll have you come down to the left and then the same thing. And so to make this more challenging, you could increase the height of the box. You could make him wear like a weighted vest or something like that. You could even have him land on unstable surface as long as you are confident that surface isn't going to jump out on you. So that's a lot of what we would do for an ankle program, or not an ankle, but for a knee program. And then, again, a lot of sport-specific drills, running, jumping, cutting. At the end, making sure that he goes back to practice, safe to play, doesn't have any pain or problems. So,
All
here
right,
we
guys.
gotta.
Any predictions on the Husker game coming
Yeah,
up?
so coming off a bye, we got Indiana coming up here this week, and so hopefully the defense and the offensive line can get stuff figured out, and I think that we're gonna win. It'll be closer than what it should be. I'll say a 10-point Nebraska victory, maybe 38-28 Nebraska.
What do you got, Tyson?
Somewhere around there.
All right.
What about you, Josh?
I think it's low scoring.
Yeah?
I think both defenses show up. I'm thinking 21-17, Nebraska.
There we go.
All
We'll
right.
find out.